Hello, this is Nikhil Raktale and I'm doing a video comment pass on my 2D top-down shooter project. I named it rather colorfully at the time. This project was also developed using Yellish 3D and Visual C++ 2008. Uh, if you want to compile it, you'll have to set up the IDE with a copy of the yearlist engine, the library and the include files, which are available online. Just search for IRRLICHT in Google and you can get the website. So yeah, I'm not really going to go into a lot of detail about the code. I'll just show give a general overview of what the project and the game is all about. So there are two separate projects in here. They just compiled to two separate executables. One is the launcher, one is the game itself. So the launcher is called the menu here. This is like pre-compiled files. So there's three options here. The artwork has nothing to do with my project. It's just something I found online. So the help displays the keys that you can use. Quit obviously quits, and new game starts new game. So you click on new game, and there it is. And there's your character. You can move around using W, S, A, and D. The crosshair can be moved around using the mouse, and left click shoots. Uh, that's about all there is to this particular project. If you get hit by one of the ghosts, you lose a life. If you lose all three lives, like this, game's over. You need to press space, and you end up at the launcher again. You keep doing that indefinitely. You just press quit, or when the game's running, you press escape, and it allows you to come back to launcher and quit. So yeah, I'm just gonna quit that and go to the source code. Source code, not a lot of it in the menu. Menu is just one long CPP file which adds all the GUI elements into one GUI environment and displays them. GUI environment is a logical GUI construct which Yearlist uses. So you just add stuff, add the elements you want to be displayed. Like here, I'm adding the button, I'm adding static text, and down here I'm just uh, yeah, drawing everything in the environment. And what needs to be done with those is handled right here inside the onEvent method. It's a callback method. So yeah, that's all there is to the menu. The game is a little bit more complicated. Uh, all of the game elements have been classified into uh, excuse me, they have been given their own classes. The event receiver obviously receives all of the not all but most of the player inputs and acts upon them. I say not all, most, because the W, S, A, and D keys need to be um, responsive to continuous input, so that's why they are handled separately over here. But the event receiver itself is handles all of the non-continuous input and does a lot of checks and all that. So basically, the firing system is right here, adding of bullets and setting some of the initial parameters for the bullets. It's all handled here. Space and escape keys, they're also handled here. So going back to the game code, uh, I tend to have a central repository in most of my games, which provides a central access point to all the shared data. So right now it's the game data class, and go into game data. I'll just open up the header. So go into game data.header. It basically allows you access to almost all of the game elements, or some manipulation methods whichever is required at the time. So yeah, for example, you can get the player, you can get the array of all the ghosts, you can get the array which stores all the bullets, and now adding stuff into these arrays, as I said, stuff is added in the bullet array inside the event receiver right here. And yeah, another important thing is that there's an animator created and added onto each bullet as it is created. So each bullet, when it gets created, gets a specific animator attached to it. It's a fly straight animator, and it, again, another feature of the ELH engine, which makes it fly from the player's position to the cursor position at the time of firing. And yeah, when this thing gets destroyed, when the bullet gets destroyed, all of this related data, all of it gets deleted. There are no leaks or anything in this project. I've made sure of that. So, and yeah, similarly, inside the main loop, as time passes, there's a frame counter installed here. I briefly thought of putting a time-based loop for adding new enemies, adding new ghosts, but then I gave it up in favor of a simpler solution, which is just to add them in at certain counts of frames, and there's a small difficulty variable here that at certain counts of the difficulty, the difficulty counter gets incremented, and over time the ghosts get added more frequently. It's not really the most elegant solution, but it is certainly the fastest one. There is a sleep one here. This is just to prevent Yearlish from hogging up all of the CPU cycles. If I don't put that there, then it just keeps on hogging all of the CPU. And yeah, then there's all these checks for whether a particular bullet has hit a particular any ghost, whether the ghost has collided with the player, uh, checking for bullet termination. All that happens inside the main loop. Handling of the WSA and D keys, and then it just loops on and on. This is just some FPS display thing. So yeah, there are a lot of comments in my code. uh, I hope that they help further clarify uh, the source code for you. um, Thank you for watching.